lemon juice up in your eye. When you pissed off a mind that girl, you must have been high, high, high. High, must have been high, high. Who are you to wave your finger so full of it? I'm all deep in muddy waters, fucking hypocrite. Lie on your mirror, show me what's the difference. Kangaroo, not hung but guilty with the innocent. Now you're weaving shades of colors and indigo, got nothing to suck in your eye. When you pissed off of my black kettle, you must have been high, high, high. So who are you to wave your finger? Who are you to wave your fatty fingers at me? You must have been out your mind. We've been shades of indigo, shed without a reason. We've been shades of indigo. Lie on your mirror for you, what's the difference? Kangaroo, we stone, he's guilty as the government. We've been shades of gold and indigo, got lemon juice up in your eye. When you stole my black kettle, you must have been high, high. I'm lost deep in muddy waters, you're lost deep in muddy waters. Ganja, please, you must have been out your mind. Some say the end is near. Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. I certainly hope we will. I sure could use a vacation from this bullshit three-ring circus sideshow freaks. Here in this hopeless fucking hole we call LA. The only way to fix it is to flush it all away. Any fucking time, any fucking day. Learn to swim, I'll see you down in Arizona Bay. Fret for your figure, and fret for your latte, and fret for your lawsuit, and fret for your hairpiece, and fret for your Prozac, and fret for your pilot, and fret for your contract, and fret for your car. It's a bullshit three-ring circus sideshow freaks. Here in this hopeless fucking hole we call LA. The only way to fix it is to flush it all away. Any fucking time, any fucking day. Learn to swim, I'll see you down in Arizona Bay. Some say a comet will fall from the sky, followed by meteor showers and tidal waves, followed by fault lines that cannot sit still, followed by millions of dumbfounded dipshits. And some say the end is near. Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. I certainly hope we will. I sure could use a vacation from this stupid shit, silly shit, stupid shit. One great big festering neon distraction. I've a suggestion to keep you all occupied. Learn to swim, learn to swim, learn to swim. 'Cause Mo's gonna fix it all soon. Mo's coming around swim, learn to 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 swim. Fuck going Harvard and front all his clones. Fuck all these gun-toting hip gangster wannabes. Learn to swim, 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 learn to swim. Some say a comet will fall from the sky, followed by meteor showers and tidal waves, followed by fault lines that cannot sit still. Follow the beat, followed by millions of dumbfounded dipshit. Follow back and felt bullshit, through it or anything. Fuck your tattoos. Fuck all you junkies and fuck your short memories. Yeah. Learn to swim, 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 learn to swim. Yeah, fuck smiley glad hands with hidden agendas. Fuck these dysfunctional, insecure actresses. Learn to swim, learn to swim, learn to swim, learn to swim, learn to swim. Oh, 'cause I'm praying for rain. I'm praying for tidal waves. I wanna see the ground give way. I wanna watch it all go down. Mom, please flush it all away. I wanna see it go right in and down. I wanna watch it go right in. Watch it flush it all away. Yeah, time to bring it down again. Yeah, don't just call me pessimist. Try and read between the lines. I can't imagine why you wouldn't welcome any change, my friend. I wanna see it come down, put it down, suck it down, flush it down.
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away, it's so unreal. Didn't look out below, watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end it doesn't even matter. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away, it's so unreal. Didn't look out below, watch the time go low. Watch the time go right out the window, trying to hold go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. In spite of the way they were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so far. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of the time when I tried so hard. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I've put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had
his 27th year, coming home to a place he'd never been before. He left yesterday behind him. You might say he was born again. You might say he found a key for every door. When he first came to the mountains, his life was far away, on the road and hanging by a song.
Oh, man, I see, somehow it always seems that I'm dreaming of something I can never be. It doesn't matter to me, 'cause I will always be that pimp that I see in all of my fantasies. I don't know your fudging name, so what? Let's screwing might be the only way that I can truly be free from my fudged up reality. So I dream and stroke it harder, 'cause it's so fun to see my face staring back at me. I don't know your heckin' name, so what? Let's make love. All day I dream about sex. All day I dream about love. All day I dream about loving. All day I dream about sex. Yes, all day I dream about sex. And all day I dream about sex. Yes, all day I dream about sex. And all day I dream about sex. Yes, all day I dream about sex. And all day I dream about sex. Yes, all day I dream about sex. All day I dream about sex. All day I dream about loving. Oh, 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 oh. All day I dream about sex. All day I dream about loving. All day I dream about sex. All day I dream about loving.
With the perfect hair and the perfect wife and the perfect kids and the perfect life, I will finally be somebody.
Let's play born again, American resistance is the game.
Two pigs wearing suits brought the news that I'm wanted by the bank. They say the rent is due, Caesar's onto you, so you better remember your place. Then they outsourced my job and gave a raise to my boss. Bailed out the banks but billed me for the loss. They say we must submit and be one with the machines, 'cause the kingdom of fear needs compliance to succeed. So wanna born against the fallen, it's all a rage. Play born again, American resistance is the game. Smash the control machine. Work, buy, consume, die. Smash the control machine. Happy little slaves for minimum wage.
The revolution conversation will be monetized and streamed live via Renegade Wi-Fi.
The clinics that are sick, toxic and impure, but there isn't any cure for the poor uninsured. So we live our digital lives on multiple screens, and we forget that the blood of the workers creates the machines. And the home of the fiends love discriminates, while the fat cats feed the rats their dose of daily cake. So waterboard the kids for fun, it's all the rage and play. Born again, American resistance is the game. Smash the control machine. Work, buy, consume, die. Smash the control machine. Happy little slaves for minimum wage. Smash the control machine. Work, buy, consume, die. Smash the control machine. Haters, betrayers, liars, and thieves.
She sold her soul for designer clothes, for the perfect lips and the perfect nose. The winner in the end always owns the most. Reality TV told us so. Money changer, greedy banker, this is the people's house. My minister has a sinister plan to save my soul with a credit card scam. Exploitation is contagious for the selfish and self-inflated. Start a war, use the poor, watch a profit soar and soar.
Combination of wolves, ruled by sheep, owned by swine, overfed and put to sleep. And while the media elite decrees what to think, I am wide awake, on the edge and on the brink. So when Atlas shrugs and the Falconet bleeds, and when Wall Street apostles preach a gospel of greed.
Welcome, my friends, to XboxEra. If you're new here, let me fill you in. XboxEra is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course, XboxEra.com, your destination for the best news, reviews, and features, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of XboxEra. Our incredible podcasts listened to in over 50 countries worldwide, our in-depth reviews, our own merch store for the coolest in gaming threads, and of course Day One, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. We're a small, agile and independent publication, and importantly, we're completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support. XboxEra is only made possible by the support of an amazing community, and in particular our legendary and growing army of Patreon supporters. Our executive producers, Top, The Scarecrow 121, Peter B, Not Jack, Mohammed Sherez, Kevin S, Korkenstein, Jordan White, Jordan Andow, Frankie C, Terran H, and Britt. Our amazingly generous grand benefactors who take their support and dedication to XboxEra to another level. Krat56, an assassin. And then there's our boss, our leader, our shining light in times of darkness, the one and only XboxEra's CEO, Torn Raptor. You guys are all fucking awesome. If you enjoy the content XboxEra produce and want more of it, and you're not a patron, consider heading over to patreon.com/XboxEra, pledge your support, and get cool swag in return.
Listen to it there. Instead, if you want to become one of those Patreon legends, simply consider heading over to patreon.com/XboxEra and support us directly, which is nice. Hi, Jesse. How are you? Good. Okay, okay, yeah. Start as we mean to go on. I'm tired. I was up late last night. I don't know. It's a day. It's Tuesday. It feels like a Monday
Yeah.
still.
OBS is doing the thing where I have to turn off and on my mic 3 times for it to actually load. There we go. I'm not muted. It's just not on.
Yeah.
Now it's on.
The gang's all here. You guys know what
Mm.
I say at the beginning of these episodes anyway.
I was pretty
I'm
much
not
just saying
gonna
that
repeat
John
it.
always says the same thing to start, so you guys know. Hello.
Yeah.
OBS
It's all good.
is not very good, but OBS is free, so I can't complain.
Yeah. Can't complain about free, right? Welcome everybody. It's another week. It's now February. We've got through it. We've got through the longest month of the year. I'm sure everyone's feeling and breathing a deep sigh of relief. But video game news hasn't slowed down.
No,
so we've got a bit to talk
not at
about.
all.
We've got a bit to talk about. But before we do that, a small amount of housekeeping. If you've been paying attention to XboxEra.com this week, especially yesterday, you will have noticed that we dropped a few reviews. The banner ones being Civilization 7. Got a review from a colleague of mine that's a big Civ fan. We felt it was the sensiblest way to be able to cover it and have someone with experience in the genre.
Unfortunately, his computer exploded at some point and we weren't able to get any footage, which is why there's no video.
Yeah, there would have been a video for it,
Yeah.
and I would have edited it. But about 6 hours into the review, he was like, "Hey, I'm through age 1. This is doing well. I'm on target to have this beat, and and invest some hours in it." And then his PC blew up, and there was a moment I think where we all thought, "Oh no!" And then he was like, "Don't worry, I've got a Steam Deck." So he completed the review on the Steam Deck, which gave that particular Civilization 7 review a more unique slant, because he was reviewing it on a handheld. For Steam Deck folks
He
that are intrigued,
should have just played like this with his camera pointing down, and then we could have had Steam Deck review footage. I'm kidding.
yeah,
We should not have
just
done
that for hours. No, it would have looked awful. But he enjoyed it. There's some polarized reviews out there. For the most part, though, it's been very positive. So you can go check out his review. But big thank you to Goldhawk, aka Greg Johnston, for stepping in to help us out with some coverage there with a strategy game.
Yeah,
that
Ursula
we just
wanted to do
didn't
it.
have.
He could not. He could.
I pinged Ursula when he was in the middle of trying to do Kingdom Come and Citizen Sleeper, and I went, "Hey, buddy, I notice you're down for this. Would you like to see if I can take it off of your table?" And he was like, "Oh God, yes, please."
Look, even the display capture broke. Now it's on the wrong thing. There we go.
Is everything broken
OBS,
today?
OBS is weird. So whenever it updates, it just likes to randomly break certain scenes in certain ways. But none of this was broken when I checked it last night. So that's the more annoying
Fair
part.
enough.
I also
Fair
unmuted
enough.
StreamYard last night, but it just reverted everything and didn't save it. But yeah, he quite liked Kingdom Come, gave it an 8. He liked it a lot more than he liked the first one. It is a game you live in. It is not a game you jump into to just play through the campaign. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's entire thing is trying to make you feel like a miserable peasant back many hundreds of years ago in Europe. It's really focused on that. Extremely pretty. If you vibe with the game itself, with the feeling, with the mechanics of the combat and everything, super mechanically dense game. Some really high reviews out there. A couple of pretty low ones that were mostly bug related. Pretty much everyone who's reviewed it seems to enjoy it, but not for me. I do not have the time.
I've also experimented with it a little bit on PC just to see how ridiculously good it looks. And I have to say, it does look absolutely bonkers.
The Cry engine's a good engine.
Yeah, like I was very, very impressed at, overall fidelity. And, it's a massive, this game, the first one kind of came out of nowhere. It earned itself a little bit of a cult status with its fans. And they have done exactly what a sequel really sets out to do. Bigger, better, and more badass, as Cliff Bleszinski would say, Gears 2 related. So kudos to the devs. Congratulations on a successful launch. I think it comes out today, right? Comes out today for everybody in a few hours, if not already.
I believe so.
But yeah, there you go. Some big stuff. There's some other little reviews that dropped on XboxEra.com. There's one for Big Helmet Heroes from Cengiz, which is a smaller smaller game, smaller read, obviously, but he quite enjoyed it. It's a fun little game. Just some quirks there from a design perspective, and we have a Disorder drop from Fairy Empire.
Stellar Blade at
which-
home.
Yeah, it's kind of doing that whole what's the phrase? It's got similarities to Stellar Blade, but it's also like a luminal spaces thing again. I can't remember if this is the one or it's a roguelite of sorts. There you go. I knew I was getting them confused.
When you don't have a lot of
But
money
yes.
and you're trying to make something last longer, put some good roguelike mechanics into it and you might have a chance.
Yeah, he gave it a 6.4. Bit janky, but if you're into this sort of thing, you might have some fun with it if you want to check it out. So yeah, that's available on the site right now. You can go give them a read. Please do, because it does help us out. We do appreciate your patronage, as we appreciate our patrons. I say we, royal we. But if you want to become one of them, you can head to patreon.com/XboxEra. Now, let's talk about the news. Where to begin? Let's start with tariffs. Let's start with the tariff news.
2/3
as
of
we
this
all
story
know-
are gone after one day.
Yeesh. Yeah, this story was very different 24 hours ago. But yes, effectively, there's a bit of a game of bluff going on between America and the rest of the world when it comes to tariffs being placed on Canada and Mexico, and then not. Once Canada and Mexico agree to do certain things, and then we'll review it in 30 days. Just a lovely partnership.
Canada and
of
Mexico
friendly
agreed to do the
countries.
things they ought agreed to do in December. The
Yep.
one that will potentially affect video gaming, there was a statement from the ESA, is about the semiconductor tariff. Which
This is the
be
tariff
rough.
on Taiwan's TSMC
Mhm.
semiconductor chip thingies.
The
Yes,
things that
the
power
ESA
pretty much everything.
Indeed. The main US game industry group, which is the ESA, said tariffs on video game devices and related products would impact Americans of all ages across the country. We urge the administration to consult with the private sector in a transparent process to avoid causing significant harm to everyday Americans and to one of the fastest growing entertainment sectors in the United States.
Mhm.
What's that? Yeah, it's video games. Can't sell many consoles, or at least as easily, or you can't sell them for the price you intend to sell them at if they cost way more to produce. Which
But
is
we've been told the tariffs just make it cost more for the countries shipping them. It's like, yeah, but they just charge the people more.
yeah.
They just put that tariff directly into the price of the product. That's all that happens. The political reasoning behind why they've been looking for tariffs is they want to do a bunch of cuts for billionaires and very high millionaires, and they're trying to find ways to pay for it. That's about it. It's not complicated why they're trying to do it. It's just it's like a special Nick insider, throw it against the wall and see what sticks approach.
That's my way of putting it, I suppose.
It's always hard
Oh,
because like
man.
video games are supposed to get away from politics, even though art in and of itself is inherently political. Like it's just, is it my politics is how most people look at it. And it's like, if it is mine, cool. If it's not, I hate it. Not keep it out. But this is economic politics and not like societal. It is just straight up, if this was to happen and there was 10% tariffs on every semiconductor coming out of TSMC, it would be
It would be good.
It would just cost everything we do 10% more. Everything we buy that uses those parts.
Yeah.
Like at least 10%, because also there's multiple things in there and the way it all works. And you've got the tiniest little look into how item management goes. And like everyone talks about Apple as this amazing hardware company. What Apple is an amazing logistics company. To be able to make and ship and sell as many things as they do is crazy. And when you start looking into businesses and the actual just insane amount of stuff that has to happen for anything to ever be made and end up at a store for you or on your front doorstep as a package is crazy. When you add more costs onto it, it just snowballs and makes things really bad.
Yep. That's it in a nutshell. We'll see what happens. You know, some of this might just be posturing to obtain a result. Maybe they'll follow through.
All of it's posturing.
Next up in the video game news, Game Pass has added and announced their Wave 1 for February 2025. Always see this strange reaction when there's less things than the month before, as if it's suddenly bad. It isn't. Because some of the stuff they've already announced like months ago is still yet to come. But yeah, 3 new titles are coming to Game Pass, and 3 more are being added to the standard tier to start off February. We have Madden NFL 25 coming to cloud console PC via EA Play on February 6th for Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. We have Kingdom 2 Crowns coming to cloud and console
returning.
on February 13th.
Yeah.
Oh, returning.
Mhm.
And of course, we have Obsidian Entertainment's Avowed,
Which is right
coming
there
to cloud PC and
on
Xbox
in New York
consoles.
Times Square, as Aaron Greenberg once again for everyone online points out, roughly 2 weeks before launch and then 2 weeks after launch.
Marketing.
That is their marketing sphere because they know people do not have the best attention spans anymore. Everyone's got one of these in front of them, just constantly taking their attention all the time. So you start promoting heavily when something is close and people can actually get it. If you try and do it before, they will just forget about it unless it's the biggest thing of the year. Like GTA 6 will have very early marketing because it is a generational title. Like,
true story.
But this is what they did with Hellblade. This is what they did with Avowed. This is what they did with Indie. And Indie was bigger, I think, overall because tied to Disney and everything as well. But yeah, like I do think a part of, and I do wish people had asked Phil more about like single player games and how they are one of the publishers really set up to keep doing them in a way that few others are.
Game Pass.
But also because of scope. Like people are looking at the cost of some games like South of Midnight $40 and going, oh no, and they should be going, yes, that means they properly scoped it so that it is a smaller 12 to 15 hour experience that didn't cost 150 million to make and produce and market and all this type of shit. Like that is the thing that they can actually do because they don't need everything to sell 10 million copies. Like Spider-Man 2 came to PC way earlier than it was supposed to. And you can tell by the quality of the port, which is in really rough shape, because even selling over 10 million is just, it breaks even and starts to make some money. But they have to give so much to Disney and it's rough. Like Claire Obscure being $50, that means that small new team properly
It's been a scoped game.
Yeah, like 30 to 40 hours ish. Perfect.
I feel like this is going to be the new way.
It's going back. It's going back to actually scoping your things to match the price in the low AAA space instead of it just being indies that properly do that and have to because no one's going to spend, $50 for Hollow Knight as great as it was. They weren't going to spend, or Hollow Knight might have been more, but like a lot of smaller things. No, I was trying to think of actual indie games from a few devs. Like Balatro is not $40 because
it's £12.50.
Yeah, like they understand the price point they should go for, and typically that ends for them around 40 on the highest end. So,
yeah, it's worth mentioning. I can see in the chat, Drake Williams says, "Why does the title of this stream say January 30th?" It's because one of us human beings forgot to change it.
I'll change it because on YouTube, you just reuse things, and every once in a while, I completely forget to change in that spot. If you refresh, it will now say February 4th.
On the Game Pass front, joining the standard tier, if you're a standard Game Pass subscriber, we have another Crab's Treasure, which I think Jesse reviewed and quite enjoyed. Yuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, and Starfield. Well, it's only a mixed game. February 5th.
I had people telling me
platform.
I had people telling me that 85 is mixed, and then I was like, Wukong got Game of the Year nominations at 81. It's not mixed. Mixed would be in the 70s. Like, it's mostly good. Having some people who just absolutely hated it doesn't make it mixed.
On the plus side, at least, we're top critics now, according to Open Critics. So
That one's not a
our
top,
Mega
though.
Boost plans can finally come
I will have
to
to
fruition.
They wanted it to be retroactive, but they're having a hard time. It might have to all be done manually, which means changing 700-ish inputs. So our Mega Boost is only for things moving forward right now. And recent. I redid a lot of recent ones to make them top critic.
Leaving Game Pass on February 15th, we have A Little to the Left, which I reviewed and is a fairly nice way to pass the time. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, EA Sports UFC 3, Indivisible, Merge and Blade, Return to Grace, and Tales of Arise. There's a bunch of other stuff to be aware of in terms of DLC and game updates from Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Season 2 being available. No Man's Sky Worlds Part 2 is available now. And there's some Game Pass perks for Stumble Guys, if you want to check that out. You do you. I won't judge. Next up in news, this one's an interesting one. We just stuck it in the last minute.
You stuck it in the last minute,
Gaming,
and I immediately debunked it.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it. Insider Gaming reported earlier today that Valve is building a Steam console to rival PlayStation 5 and Xbox, according to a rumor. Writing on Insider Gaming, Grant Taylor Hill says late last year, rumors surfaced regarding a developing Steam-based console being built by Valve. It was claimed that the device was being designed alongside new iterations of the Steam controller and a fresh VR headset. On social media, tech insiders were mulling over proposed specs for a Steam console, but of course the claims were not addressed by Valve. Today, fresh rumors have hit the airwaves with Ecstasis, if you're wondering where you've heard that name before, from many, many Game Pass leaks, commenting on social media and uploading a video about the very spicy claim, that's a quote, that the rumored Steam console will compete with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles. On social media, Ecstasis wrote, "New Steam console, very spicy with Valve. It already seems that a new Steam console is coming that competes against PlayStation 5 and Xbox in the future. Thanks to Handle Deck," we'll get to that in a moment, "we have learned that Valve works closely with AMD and its RDNA 4 technologies." In a follow-up video, Ecstasis expanded on the rumor, but as this reporter notes, they don't speak Spanish, so
Portuguese.
Like breaking it down.
It's not even Spanish. It's Portuguese. Portuguese.
Anyways, Jesse did have a look at this.
Yeah, I spent 30 seconds. I went to things and I looked up Handle Deck on Twitter. And thanks to Twitter's auto-translate, it is, I remind you that this is neither a rumor nor a leak. It is my opinion after reviewing certain works by Valve. So there, that's all that there is to it.
That's the news.
It's an educated guess.
We will leave that there, I think. But yes. I mean, Valve have tried with the Steam box. Was it the Steam box?
Also, they'd be working with them on new stuff for another Steam Deck too.
Yep, true. Yeah. Anyway, next up, Idea Xbox have announced in partnership with IGN a new Idea Xbox showcase, which is coming on February 24th. I'm very pleased because Jesse pinged me and said, "Jump Ship might be there." And if you remember, Jump Ship is from one of the ex-Minecraft creators. It's a 4-player co-op, pilot your own spaceship and do stuff with your mates. Very Sea of Thieves, but in space, effectively. I'm super hyped for it. I'm really looking forward to trying that one out. And I'm excited because I like ID Xbox games. There's often picked some really, really good stuff for these showcases. So I will definitely, we'll do a reaction.
Yeah, they've got a lot of studios there that make good stuff.
Indeed, they do. But there was something curious about the trailer.
Yeah, but if you go back, and I actually saved this just in case they deleted it. But if you go to like 3 to 4 seconds in, this ID at Xbox intro animation has Cuphead and then Miles Morales from Across the Spider-Verse. It's really weird. So I'm going to guess. So the ID at Xbox showcase is part of it's the start of a full week of events from IGN. I am guessing there's something Across the Spider-Verse related there at this IGN event. So it's really weird to have that turn into ID at Xbox, unless they did this for everything. But it's weird to have Cuphead there, because Cuphead's done. So it feels like an ID at Xbox thing, because they've also got another one at the end where it like fades out. But it does say IGN. So it's like it's IGN's FanFest video. See how,
I
and then
suspect.
it's just IGN stuff because they got Cuphead and then
Yeah.
Hades to close it.
It's an odd choice of IPs. Look, let's be honest. Let's be clear.
It means
Probably
nothing.
nothing.
It absolutely
probably
means
nothing.
nothing. It was just interesting. That's why when I wrote the article, I was like, it's oddly in there. Because, you know, and then the whole article is like, this probably doesn't mean anything. Because I highly doubt it does, but it's just so weird. What the heck's that on the Tunic, Hades, and Cuphead for the end? I don't know. But yeah, this is definitely, so even though this was on the Xbox Twitter account, it definitely feels like it was all IGN produced.
Yeah. What do we know? Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing, bruv.
I'll tell you what we do know. We do know that Jesse and I are both playing some Xbox first-party games at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I am delighted to say I'm working on a preview for South of Midnight, which is going to be dropped on February the 11th. I can't remember the time. I think it's like
It's early in the
1800
morning
hours
for me.
CET.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's like 5 p.m. UK time. Don't quote me on it. I'm just from the top of my head. As we all know, this is Compulsion's first new game under Microsoft's banner, following their work on Contrast in 2013 and We Happy Few in 2018, I want to say. So it's been a while.
This is
we had a
I'm playing the stop motion featurette that they put out. That's pretty cool.
yes, I've seen it. It's very cool. That stop motion featurette, which obviously I can comment on directly because it's out available publicly. Yeah, you can look forward to enjoying my thoughts.
And they had
with some video coverage next week.
They had a preview event in New York where many people were invited. It looked very cool. We were not, but we're not anywhere near New York, so we do the digital version.
We do. I did see that. Like, I think Boom was there with Greg Miller from Kind of Funny as well. I think Boom posted a selfie.
Iron Lords.
The Iron Lords probably went, yeah.
And many others.
Yeah, but we didn't. We're doing it from home,
Mm.
which is fine by me. I prefer that to flying. I'm having to fly to too many places because I'm going, while that preview drops, I will be out and about in Vegas next week. And then it looks like I'm going to be going to GDC in March, which is great because, you know, as we've learned in this industry over the course of the last 6 years, it's not always what you know, it's who.
Yep.
So I always enjoy going to things.
It's almost
and meeting
always
new
just
folks
who you know.
and making new friends because friends are nice. It's nice to have friends. Hold them close. But yeah, I'm playing South of Midnight right now. Jesse, you're playing Avowed.
I am.
You can't really speak about it.
Nope.
Enjoy trying to ham this up in
I've got
5 or more sentences.
I've gotten 8 trillion DMs asking about performance modes, particularly if they exist or not. Can't say a word. I've been hoping that the Obsidian would just talk about it, but they have not. Instead, they do let us say that reviews are hitting early on February 13th, few hours before early access launch, I think. So just keep an eye out for that. I am many hours in. I never know if they like you saying how many hours in you are, because then it gives an indication of how long the game is, so I won't
Exactly.
directly.
Many.
But also, it could be through multiple playthroughs to see different things, because Avowed is a game of choice, as I have talked about before and shown, and people have gone over in previews, where you could do like 90 hours in it if you're doing a bunch of playthroughs, probably. But, yep, I've had it for, I don't know, since Wednesday, was it? I think. So, yeah, keep an eye out. Reviewing it mainly on Xbox with plenty of PC mixed in as well, because I have a good PC.
Yeah, why wouldn't you do that? Millions of console fanboys cry out in horror. I'm only joking. All right.
I will say the time a game comes in almost never has anything to do with company confidence.
Yes. Yeah. People that think
I've had 3 weeks on games that were terrible, and I've had 3 days on games that were amazing. It's a crapshoot. It's really hard to tell.
Making games is hard. We've said this again and again and again, and very few people realize how much of a freaking miracle it is that these things come out in the way that they do. Takes a lot of really, really hard work from a lot of clever people, far cleverer than me. Next up in news, we covered this extensively last week. Obviously, the biggest news piece of last week, after we did headlines on Thursday, was that Forza Horizon 5 is on its way to PlayStation 5. Not much more to say at this point. If you want to go deep into the nitty gritty, you can check out the XboxEra podcast that aired on Saturday. It was pretty much the topic for 2.5 hours, right? And then we did some other stuff very quickly. So I don't want to wax lyrical and go over the same old points. All I'll say is that if you're still shocked at this, read the room. This is going to keep happening. Get used to it. That's about it. It's not a defense. It's not an offense. It's just a thing that's going to keep happening.
And the people on on Reddit and that Gaming Leaks Reddit, whenever something comes up, like this game could be coming to PlayStation and Switch, you're like, this isn't news anymore. It's just expected. Like they've made it very clear. I don't know why people keep seeming surprised. You might not agree with it. You might be Nick and just think it's bad in various ways because you really don't like I don't think Nick would ever care about Switch, but he would definitely always he does not like Sony as a company, and he does not want to see them get anything. But the potential positive is this pays for more Avoweds in South of Midnights and various other Game Pass deals and stuff. So that is where we as customers could benefit.
Yeah. CEO Torn Raptor in the chat. He says, I also enjoy watching PC snobs having issues while I have none on console. Yeah, it happens. It happens to us a lot. We have all of the issues on PC, especially my PC, because I chose the wrong Intel CPU for this generation.
It's definitely a choose AMD CPUs type of time frame right now. If you want the best in gaming, you're generally going with a X3D chip of some sort.
What else? Next up in news, we haven't heard from PlayStation in a while. Quick, let's have a rumor about what they might be doing. Coming via Andy Robinson over at Video Games Chronicle, PlayStation is reportedly prepping a February state of play just for you, romantically, on Valentine's week. This is according to Nate the Hate. Now, let's be fair to Nate. He's not got much wrong of late. So let's go ahead and presume that this is probably happening. But according to Nate the Hate, PlayStation's next live stream is arriving in February. When asked on social media platform X, aka Twitter, for more exact timing info, Nate the Hate dropped a strong hint that it would take place on the week commencing February 10th. Sony regularly puts out a state of play in either late January or February to reveal some of the titles it's planning to release during the first half of the calendar year. So last January, we had Stellar Blade, Rise of the Ronin, Death Stranding 2, Silent Hill. Yeah. Probably will get one.
Yeah,
we do know that Sony is releasing Death Stranding 2 and Ghosts of Yotai this year. But we... Yote, whatever. Whilst Marvel's Wolverine and Fair Games don't yet have release windows. So
I'd be really surprised if Wolverine was this year.
Yeah, I would too. But
it could be. And Insomniac's very good, but I mean, they also should be given more time because they just put out Spider-Man 2. And Spider-Man 2 PC is a mess. And the next thing was supposedly also an expand. It is crazy that they announced Wolverine back in 2021, I think. That definitely feels like it was way too early. But they knew the drought that they were going to have. A drought for them on their first party big time stuff. Because they've been fine with publishing deals and other various things. Also, it's really weird. Spider-Man 2 has done fine on PC. Not great. It's done okay. But supposedly Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has actually done really well. Which I don't think Remake ever did. But Remake was a way worse port. Like, Rebirth has problems, but Remake was, it almost felt like it was just a wrapper on top of the PS4 game. And hardly any settings and looked ugly and ran like shit. Rebirth's all right, and they patched it up so it's better now. I mean, the game itself is pure cringe, but the actual port is all right.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Fair Games.
I'm really curious what that game ends up being because they are really late on that trend.
Yeah. Good luck. Anyway, if you're hungry for some PlayStation game news, won't long
Soonish.
to wait.
It is
Hopefully.
funny with everyone doing the rumors nonstop about PlayStation and Switch. Microsoft's had and then announced another show. We are very lucky.
It's so true. They just keep on churning stuff out. It's great. I love it.
And if they have a
next
March
up-
partner preview, it'll be the first 3 months of the year. I'll have a show.
Boom, boom, boom. It's fine. Delighted. Battlefield is back with Battlefield Labs being unveiled by EA and the studio formerly known as DICE, because now they've done a Halo and they've renamed themselves to Battlefield Studios. This is per EA, a global united front that combines 20 years of Battlefield experience with the best emerging talent in the industry, and they are hard at work to shape the future of the Battlefield franchise. They claim to have big ambitions, and they're going to deliver the best experience for players. They're still in the early stages of development, but now is the time to test everything.
Which
and
is
their teams
funny.
have been building for their upcoming launch.
Jeff Keighley said, coming later this year, a new Battlefield game in his tweet. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? No, it's not. It literally said it's not. This is Battlefield Early Access, where they're getting stuff out there and they are letting you play it for free. So that free thing being a big thing, because then they don't have to pay for all of the, they can get millions of people involved without having to pay anyone for it. Smart. It's what Baldur's Gate did. It's what tons of games do. Find a way to make fun early access that your fans want to be a part of to help shape the next thing you're making.
Yeah. It's good. I'm fine with it.
Uh-oh. She has purple hair. Game's going to be a failure.
No, that's silly. I mean, they did include some brief clips from an early alpha build. Looks very Battlefield. Destruction looks great. I mean, the problem I think that Battlefield has is that for as many releases as I can remember, it's always released not in the best shape, and then eventually it's a great game, but it's taken too long to get there. And I mean, I've seen the sentiment out in the community. I saw it amongst friends in IRL last night. They don't really believe it this time. They're not falling for it anymore.
I think that's why they're doing the early access, to actually let you see it instead of just hear it again.
So I think it's a smart move from EA and the Battlefield franchise. I understand that sentiment. I don't necessarily agree with it. It's pretty jaded. Like I said, video games are hard to make. But there's always this rush and desire to get it out in time or have this big new feature, and that's what they'll promote. And then the game isn't what it needs to be to actually keep people that like playing the Battlefield franchise enjoying it. Hey, let's chase this Call of Duty trend, or let's chase a single player campaign. And it's like, no, we want to do the crazy Battlefield stuff that we want to play. So Battlefield Labs, let's bring those people that love those games in, and then they can provide direct feedback to shape that new game. Registration is open. You can go and sign up. However, spaces are limited. So you won't necessarily get in.
And
so
for the people
for
wondering, I'll put this up here. Part of it was saying the campaign is back. They will be focused on having a big old campaign in it this time. So I saw people wondering in chat, and they have said they will be bringing the single player campaign back. So thank you to psu.com for the headline.
A few little bits and pieces now. The Division 2, the Battle for Brooklyn, has been announced for 2025. I think this one surprised you, but you're delighted, right? Because you're a big fan of the Division.
It did not. So it was actually supposed to be our first half of the year. And so they have confirmed it is still this year. And they showed, let me get this thing up. They gave the key art for it. As somebody who is a big Division fan, I'm always happy to get more content as they spin up work for 3, which is going to be pretty far away, I imagine. But give me more reason to go back to the Division. I'm all for it. Because we went back to a certain part of New York for Warlords of New York, the first expansion that they made after the game was dead. So, and this is a setup for the next Division. And this one is set in the fall. And as you can see, this guy right here, Solid FPS, he's excited. He's hoping the Division 3 once again takes place in winter, because everyone really liked the winter and Christmas time setting of Division 1. And then it
did look
was
cool.
it was summer in Washington, D.C. for Division 2. So going back to the fall, and this is a setup for 3. Yeah, I would not mind.
I mean, I would play another one. I don't think I played Division 2. I definitely played through all of Division 1 and quite enjoyed the grindy gameplay loop. But probably didn't have time for Division 2. But I'd play another one, I think.
Division 2 did a Diablo 3 where it was okay at launch. And then a few years later, it was amazing. And it had kind of died, but then it picked up so much, they made a really good expansion for it and have kept making seasonal content after they had wind the team down. They weren't working on the Division 2 at all. And then it went on sale and people bought it and were like, wow, this is great. And a lot of people were playing it and putting money in. And so they're like, oh, shit.
Wait, let's make some more Division 2 content fast. Let's capitalize on this.
One of the better things about Ubisoft, and especially Massive, Massive seemed very good at making things. And they were able to get right back into doing it. So I will knock them. And Ubisoft wants to focus on the things that they own the IP rights on now. They own the Tom Clancy name for video games. They own the Division. So I'm very happy to get a third.
Nice. Same dev team?
No idea if it is Ubisoft Massive. So it's their next project after having just finished Outlaws, as far as I know.
Cool. I'm in. Sign me up. Next up in news, if you're a big Fallout fan, get excited, but don't get too excited because it doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means. Coming via Andy Robinson over at Video Games Chronicle, Fallout New Vegas's lead writer has rejoined Obsidian Entertainment, but insists it's not for a sequel. John Gonzalez announced the news on his LinkedIn profile this week, confirming he's taken up the role of creative director. However, he has reaffirmed his new job is not Fallout New Vegas 2. He previously worked at Obsidian from 2008 to 2011 and was notably a writer for Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Mordor. One does not simply say Mordor. The lead writer for Guerrilla's Horizon Zero Dawn and narrative director for its sequel, Forbidden West.
He's very good at making me hate a protagonist. Because I
you
don't
gotta
like...
love a villain.
And the protagonist, not antagonist. I do not like...
You gotta love a hero.
Aloy is correctly, but still very unlikable in Horizon for me. She's just a bit of an asshole. But you also understand why, because the world sucks.
Yeah. Andy Robinson goes on a little bit more here in terms of Fallout fever, which we experienced when the show dropped last year. Enthusiasm for more Fallout titles from the team behind New Vegas has been growing for years. In 2023, original Fallout co-creators Tim Kaine and Leonard Boyarski expressed their enthusiasm for a potential Fallout New Vegas remaster. And then last year, Fallout New Vegas director Josh Sawyer said that he'd be willing to work on a new Fallout title as long as certain creative criteria were met. I mean,
give me more than 18 months.
Seriously, just think about this for a moment. Obsidian Entertainment, since they've been acquired by Microsoft, we've had Grounded, Outer Worlds, kind of at that rough acquisition point. We've got Avowed. We've got Outer Worlds 2 as well this year. We've had Pentiment, right? Once these are all out, what are they working on next? I mean, if Microsoft was smart, it's got to be something Fallout, right?
Don't know.
You've got your Bethesda folks. They're working on Elder Scrolls 6. So, you've got Fallout Season 2 coming. Like, get on that train, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Be nice though. Be cool.
I wouldn't complain.
Yeah.
I would have to finally play through all of Fallout New Vegas if they did a sequel so I could review it. I played most of it, not all of it. It was you've
not seen the ending.
It was extremely broke. I've seen the ending in video, but it was so broken when I first tried to play it closer to launch that I gave up.
Fair. Last few news stories here as we wrap up towards the end of the show. You might remember us talking last week about God is a Geek editorial staff and the owner of God is a Geek, who was defrocked because he's a priest. This is starting to make more sense as I read this story out. and he did a Nazi salute. And,
Nazi-like
it was
salute, you would have to say, for libel and slander.
allegedly.
No,
Thank you.
it was Nazi-like. It wasn't allegedly. It definitely was, but it was like, because
It was like a Nazi.
he
salute.
claims
Okay.
it was a joke.
Okay.
A funny joke.
Either way,
haha.
he's been defrocked as a priest, and now the entire. And this is, I mean, you've got to say something for these guys. The entire team of God is a Geek, all of their editorial staff quit, cut ties with the founder of the business, and has said that it becomes increasingly clear we can no longer separate the site from its owner. So they've set up a new site. I think it's called Loot Level Chill. So
Names
you can
are
go check
hard.
out. Yeah, names are hard. But I mean, good for them for standing on their.
It took a long. He
Malls, I
sucked for a
think.
long time, so it took them a lot to finally give in.
Yeah, I guess they couldn't ignore this one.
God is a Geek was also completely removed from Press Engine, OpenCritic, and Metacritic over it. So
Oof.
dead.
Ouch.
Dead as can be.
Ouch. Now I'm going to try and do this in the right way. This next news story, all right, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea.
Did we do this one, or was this only on the podcast?
I think we mentioned it on the podcast. I don't remember it being a thing on Thursday.
Yeah,
Maybe
okay.
it was on Thursday.
I think it might have happened after.
Yeah, either way, we're sorry if we've covered this twice, but in case you missed it, Multiversus is coming to a close. It's going to end with season 5, and the game is being delisted in May. However, in a unique twist, if you've downloaded the latest version of the game following that season 5 release, you'll be able to play it offline.
As long as you have it
in local
downloaded
play.
early. You have to be downloaded, have opened it, and signed into your WB account in it. If you haven't done all of that, you cannot download it again, and you cannot sign into it even if you have it downloaded. You have to have all of that done before the end of May. And if you ever uninstall it or get a new system, it's gone. Gone forever. So it will pretty much only exist over the long term on PC.
Now, we all know that I am not a fan of the game, but I wish the development team luck in whatever future thing they do. Good try. Never mind. Next up, we covered this one on the podcast as well, but it's funny, so I don't mind talking about it twice. I mean, let me rephrase. It's funny in that who
It's
it was
so
and
weird.
what he did.
It's such a weird
It's a bizarre
thing.
story.
Yeah.
If you might recall, LA was on fire last month, and it was very, very
Probably
bad.
still is.
And
Just people get
people were
bored of
flying-
hearing about it.
people are bored now, so it's no longer urgent, right?
Yeah, it gets less coverage in the news because people stop watching, and so it doesn't matter if it actually stopped or not. It was like the whole Gaza thing never stopped. It just people didn't want to hear about it anymore.
That's about right for the human race. But anyway, they were sending out big planes full of water to help douse the flames, and a
From
drone
Canada.
pilot took one out by flying his drone into it by accident. Whoops!
Well, he
turns
damaged
out
it.
that-
It didn't crash and kill anyone, but it punctured holes and made issues, and they had to ground it for very expensive repairs that he now has to pay for.
Yes, and it turns out it wasn't just any old drone pilot. It was one of the co-founders of Treyarch. Whoops. Peter Ackman flew his DJI Mini 3 Pro drone far beyond the legal limit of his ability to see and into a plane. So he's avoiding jailtime, I think, but he has to pay $65,000 to repair the plane and do 150 hours of community service. So,
Having money means you don't normally go to jail. Any of us, if someone poor does this, they don't have the money to pay for it all. So they're just in jail for a very long time. It's just such a weird headline to read. It was almost as weird as, you know what? I didn't put it in here, but I am gonna type it up now. Assassin's Creed Shadow artbook leaks on hentai site. There you go. So there is a hentai site known for just people just upload everything to it, and the Assassin's Creed Shadow artbook leaked on it. The whole thing. It's just there, giving lots of story spoilers and stuff. So if you want to avoid those, as the game still isn't out for over a month, you probably can't if you exist online in any way. I just found that headline annoying because it sucks when things leak early for the people who make it. I don't care about Ubisoft, but for the people that have worked on Shadows and want to see people's reactions and all that type of stuff, to have your work just get leaked is never fun. But it is very funny that it leaked on that particular type of site where there's probably a lot of questionable
where
material.
animated ladies do things.
Yeah, 1,000-year-old witches who look like they're 6.
Yeah, it's fucking strange. Yeah. Yes. Last news story of the day to round things out in actually a shorter show than usual. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has beaten Detective Pikachu, become the all-time second highest grossing video game movie of all time. I find that sentence weird. The all-time second highest grossing video game movie of all time. This is via Chris
So it's
Scalia
all-time
over at VGC.
live action, second highest overall. Because Detective Pikachu was live action. Detective Pikachu, I tried to say, was live action mixed with CGI. Sonic 3, live action mixed with CGI. The awful Mario Brothers movie, full CGI.
According to Box Office Mojo, the third Sonic movie's recent takings over the weekend have it now sitting at a worldwide gross of $462.5 million. This nudges it ahead of 2019's Pokemon Detective Pikachu, which until now was the second highest grossing video game movie ever at $450 million. First place, as Jesse just mentioned, is reserved for the Super Mario Brothers movie, which grossed an enormous $1.36 billion worldwide and overtook The Lion King. There you go. Congrats to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I watched it. I don't think it was that great. But then I didn't think.
But also, you should stop talking about it because it's probably going to be the second movie for second Netflix.
Oh, is it? Is it? Was he in it? Okay, I'll stop talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, I didn't think it was that great. If you're wondering what Sick and Nick's Flicks is, if you're a Patreon supporter, as well as you getting loads of cool perks, merch, and all that other wonderful stuff, you get access to loads of exclusive Patreon-only shows from Sick and Nick's Flicks, where Nick and I and Jesse talk about movies that we watched and whether liked or did not like. We have Thanks, I Hate It, which is a show where one of us plays a game we dislike. I think next episode is Nick taking me and Jesse into the world of Fortnite. And we obviously have Headlines, which is an exclusive audio podcast for you guys. And we have the Day One Game Pass show as well, where we get together and we talk about games specifically in depth that have come to the service. So if you enjoy the sound of all of that lovely content, head over to patreon.com/XboxEra. You can pledge as little as a cup of coffee a month. And I'm
if
sure
you want
that
though,
saw us
you got to pledge $6.
Starbucks.
You got to be fan or
us
above for that
coffee.
stuff.
You buy us a coffee latte with some extra toppings to tease it into that $6.
A Starbucks, $6 is the norm for a large anyway. So
there you go. Then.
Get a large
See?
at Starbucks, and then you get the video stuff. Because we've got the $3 tier, which is like the thank you tier. The $6 tier is where you start getting content.
There you go. Go do that. That's about it for all the headlines today. We'll be back on Thursday with more news as per usual. And then we'll be gearing up for episode 249 of the Xbox Era.
We're getting close to
this
not having
weekend.
anything exciting for 250, thanks to John.
I don't know why I get the blame for not having anything exciting going on for episode 250. I don't feel that that's on me specifically. I feel like I'm being persecuted.
We're working on some stuff. Maybe we'll have something to announce during the show, so you definitely want to watch, actually.
Yeah, actually, you probably do want to watch. Like, tease. We'll tease some more on Thursday, and then we'll see you on Saturday. But either way, as always, if you've been watching and you've enjoyed the show, hit that thumbs up button. If you consider subscribing, that would be nice too. And obviously, head to patreon.com to support us directly if you can. We'll be back on Thursday. Until then, play video games. Remember, it's not that serious. It's just big fun toys. And we'll catch you soon. Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.
World is a vampire sent to drain. Secret destroyers hold you up to the flames. And what do I get for my pain? Betrayed desires and a piece of the game. Even though I know, I suppose I'll show all my cool and cold like Joe. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Now I'm naked, nothing but an animal. But can you fake it for just one more show? And what do you want? I wanna change. And what do you got when you feel the same? Even though I know, I suppose I'll show all my cool and cold like Joe. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Then some